Are you fascinated by the mysterious woolly mammoth? Have you ever wondered what evidence exists to help us learn more about these ancient creatures? In today's video, we'll explore the evidence that has been uncovered to shed light on the truth about woolly mammoths. From fossil records to ancient cave paintings, get ready to be amazed at the secrets that the woolly mammoth has revealed. Hello and welcome to Curious Media. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell for more amazing content. What is the biggest myth about mammoths? The hairy cousins of today's elephants lived with early humans and were a regular part of their diet. Their skeletons were used to build shelters, their giant tusks were used to make harpoons, they were painted on cave walls, and 30,000 years ago, the earliest known musical instrument, a flute, was formed out of a mammoth bone. Now, the hotly debated question of why mammoths went extinct has been answered. Geneticists looked at ancient environmental DNA and found that it was because when the icebergs melted, it got too wet for the giant animals to leave because their food source, vegetation, was almost all gone. Professor Willerslev, a fellow of St. John's College at the University of Cambridge and director of the Lundbeck Foundation Geogenetics Center at the University of Copenhagen, was in charge of a 10-year research project. The team used DNA shotgun sequencing to look at the plant and animal remains in the environment, such as urine, feces, and skin cells that were found in soil samples that had been carefully collected over 20 years from Arctic sites where mammoth bones were found. Scientists no longer have to take DNA samples from bones or teeth to get enough genetic material to make a profile of ancient DNA. Instead, they can use new, more advanced technology. During the pandemic, the same method was used to test the sewage of human populations to find, track, and study COVID-19. What are the findings of the study? Professor Willerslev said, "Scientists have been arguing about why mammoths died out for the past 100 years. Most of the time, humans have been blamed. This is because of the fact that the animals had lived for millions of years without being killed by climate change. But they didn't last long when they lived with humans, so we were blamed for killing them." The professor also added that they have finally been able to show that it wasn't just the changing climate that killed them, but also how quickly it happened. They weren't able to change fast enough when the landscape changed dramatically, and there was less food for them. As the climate got warmer, trees and plants that grew in wetland areas took over the grasslands where the mammoths used to live. And we should remember that there were many animals that were easier to hunt than a giant woolly mammoth, which could grow as tall as a double-decker bus. The woolly mammoth and its ancestors lived on Earth for 5 million years. During that time, the big animals changed and went through several ice ages. During this time, when it was cold and snowy, herds of mammoths, reindeer, and woolly rhinoceroses did well. Even though it was cold, grass, flowers, plants, and small shrubs grew to keep animals alive. The vegetarian mammoths would have eaten grass, flowers, plants, and small shrubs. They probably used their tusks to push snow away and their trunks to pull tough grasses out of the ground. What else is discovered? Mammoths could travel the same distance as going around the world twice in their lifetime, and fossils show that they lived on all continents except Australia and South America. Populations were known to have survived the end of the last ice age in small pockets off the coasts of Siberia and Alaska, on Wrangel Island and St. Paul Island. However, the research found that they lived longer in other places as well, and that the mammoth breeds on both islands were closely related even though they were in different places. As part of the project, the team also sequenced the DNA of 1,500 Arctic plants for the first time. This helped them come to these important conclusions for the whole world. Dr. Yixing Wang, who wrote the paper and is a research associate at the University of Cambridge's Department of Zoology, said the last ice age, called the Pleistocene, ended 12,000 years ago when the glaciers started to melt and the mammoth herds moved less. Scientists thought that this was when mammoths started to go extinct, but we found that they lived through the ice age in different parts of the Arctic and into the Holocene, which is the time we are living in now. This is much longer than scientists thought. When it started to rain more and the ice started to melt, lakes, rivers, and marshes started to form. The ecosystem changed and the biomass of the plants went down, so the herds of mammoths could no longer live there. We have shown that changes in climate, especially in the amount of rain, directly cause changes in the plants. Our models show that humans have no effect on these changes at all. At least 2,000 years ago, people and woolly mammoths lived together. They were even around when the pyramids were being built. Their disappearance is the last big story about a species going extinct because of natural causes. Even now, we are still interested in big animals. Manny, the woolly mammoth, is the main character in 5 animated Ice Age movies, and scientists are trying to bring them back from the dead. The evidence that has been uncovered about woolly mammoths is truly astounding. It reveals a fascinating history of a species that has been extinct for thousands of years. There is still much to learn about these incredible creatures, and it is exciting to know that, with more research, we will continue uncovering the woolly mammoth secrets. What are your thoughts on woolly mammoths? Let us know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.